we'll open it. Okay, okay, okay. Namaste all. A very good morning to all of you who have joined in. Welcoming all of you for day 6 of our International Faculty Development Program. So let us get started with the prayer. I'm requesting you all to adjust yourself to sit erect in your seats, eyes closed, hands in Namaskar Mudra. Take a deep breath in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste and a good morning, and we have the pleasure, privilege and the honor of having Professor Dr. Kalpana Sharma ji today with us. So let me just take a while to introduce the resource person for today. On behalf of the organizing team of School of Yoga Therapy, it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you again for the International Online Faculty Development Program on the role of yoga in sustainable developmental goals. This event is supported by the Ministry of AYUSH, Government of India, as part of the Yoga Bandhan initiative of the IDY 2025. It's a signature event, and we are really happy that we are part of this signature event. And today, like I said, we have the pleasure of having Professor Dr. Kalpana Sharma ji here. Ma'am, welcome and a very good morning, and thank you so much for accepting to be a resource person for our faculty development program. Ma'am is the Dean, the Faculty of Education, and Director, Amity School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Amity University, Noida. Dr. Kalpana Sharma ji is an accomplished academic and sports education leader with more than 30 years of experience in physical education research and academic administration. She has proven as well as established her expertise in program development, institutional leadership, sports training, and national and international collaborations as well. So the key positions that she has held so far as the Dean and Director, Faculty of Education of and ASPESS of Amity University, Noida. She was the founder principal, Noida College of Physical Education for a while, and she was also the faculty of IGIPESS, which was a deemed university, Banastali Vidyapeeth. The academic and research, beg your pardon, and research contributions. Dr. Kalpana has been instrumental in introducing more than 15 academic programs. Ma'am, quite an achievement. And she has published more than 40 research papers and 7 books, has guided 10 PhD scholars, and developed the E-Khel Pathshala at NIS Patiala, and she was the India lead partner for the Special Olympics International Project at USA. The key committees and membership, Dr. Kalpana Sharma ji is the academic council member at NIS Patiala, and she's the chairperson NCTEVT and curriculum committee. She's a member sports committees, many sports committees. She's a life member of Sports Medicine Society of India and other committees. Ethical committee member, SAI NCSSR. And her international exposure includes that, she has trained more than 10,000 volunteers in the Commonwealth Games in 2010, and attended Olympic Solidarity and German Olympic programs, and also has also participated in the Special Olympics international workshops conducted at USA. And she has been awarded Sukriti Samman in 2007 and the National Humanity Sukriti Samman in 2008. So this is just a very brief introduction to our honorable resource person for today, Professor Dr. Kalpana Sharma ji. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Meena, for introducing me. And I really apologize everyone here because today I'm having a sore throat and a back issue with all this difficult time here. But nonetheless, a commitment is a commitment. So here we are with the topic which is very close to my heart. And as Madam mentioned, that I am very fond of having dwelling on courses, developing courses, and I've also been a part of the yoga and naturopathy for 4 years diploma program. So I think it's somewhere and the other always dwells in my mind that we should be giving curricular progresses in case we are able to at any level where we get an opportunity, because that is a long term sustainable point when we integrate any item into our curricula. So that was the direction which I was thinking. And I thought I understand we have a lot of experts here who will be listening. And I think it will be my learning also in the interactive sessions from people when we do the interactive part of the talk. So basically, when we are talking about the curricular based yoga for school to university students, why that this thought has already generated? Because we are looking at SDGs in the UN SDGs. We are looking at NEP today. We are looking at the NEP. I will elaborate because many may not be knowing. NEP is the new education policy which was placed by Government of India in 2020. There is a national curriculum framework which has been placed by the Government of India in 2023. There is a complete thirst by our University Grants Commission for the schools, university students, that university students' development should be wholesome and they should have a kind of an enjoyable study and they should be also learning in that period. So student success and happiness becomes extremely important at the end of the day. So something, since I've been handling university students for long, so I thought the contribution towards school, which is basically curricular contributions, which I was able to give, whether it was the open schooling, whether it was NCRT, whether it was CBSC, I was able to contribute a bit into their literature development also. And hence, I thought this would be something which would be unique to the listeners. And when this is unique to the listeners, it will generate interest and it will generate a direction towards what the country also needs today is a curricular step by step development of the child, which can be a yoga based development also. So, this is actually the background or the context in which I'm trying to place. You'll see my slides are very few, but I'll try to discuss more and the thoughts will be placed more rather than just putting on slides things. So, I think talking yoga will be very foolish on my part now, but definitely India is having a rich context when it comes to yoga and the mind, body, soul, which we say. And that is the three words which speak of any and everything. You say mind, you say body, you say soul. And we have always learned the three words and we have just learned to put them in one line. This is what my teacher of yoga taught me way back, maybe in 80s sometimes. If you can put this in one line, that is all of yoga. So I also have started now analyzing what the meaning of that line was. Essentially, I at that time we are immature, we are just 20s or maybe 18 at times to understand what that meaning is of that these three words. But they were great teachers and practitioners who taught us, and they taught us mind, body, soul to be in one line. So that is the philosophy which I will say what India has, and that is what the discipline of yoga is. I understand when we talk about ancient part of the development of the yoga way back 5,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, various literatures are developed. I think they are so uh, well-defined literatures, which sometimes interpretation of by of that also becomes very challenging for the current people. But nevertheless, the philosophy is there, the spirituality is there, the practices are there, and definitely an experience of yoga is itself something which really is something each one should endure, because if you practice or if you have an experience just now we were when we were starting, I hope everyone is okay with English. If you require Hindi, English, okay. So when we were starting this, madam had a small prayer. I mean, she was setting the tone of this session so beautifully. Just small few words, just concentrate back, close your eyes. This is our culture, and this is Indian culture purely. So these are the practices which the Indian philosophy or Indianness, you can say, or rooted in the Indian culture is there, and I think we still are that the same. Though we may not be philosophically that rich in ourselves, but we are certainly as practices, we are continuing those practices. I don't know how much we are able to, but yes, my son or my daughter is also doing the same thing. When they ask us, we have no answers at times. And that is, I think, what a curriculum should speak now, that this is what and why of things should be more clear to the people. So similarly, when we talk about yoga, I think it has been practiced. It has been long ago in our culture, 5,000 years ago. It was taught in oral traditions. And of course, when it is taught in oral traditions, it was more on a guru dakshata, you can say, just learning things. Practice, learn, leave. And then you are ready for your life. So that is something which is very core to even ancient India. The Guru Dakshata, the Guru Shishya Parampara. Guru Shishya Parampara is the teacher and the disciple Parampara. And this is where we talk of bonds between the teacher and the taught. And these bonds are not just somebody comes and you are teaching him and they are leaving. No, that is a lifelong bond. The teachings, the learnings which are given by the teachers, they are carried forward and they are imbibed into the shishya or the disciple, and they continue with speaking, continue practicing that for their life. So that relationship, I will say a pure relationship between a guru and shishya, is something which today we need to imbibe into our curriculum. And that becomes a very, I will say, a basic term for us, or a basic direction for us to think when we want to design our curriculums. So and of course the focus definitely will be on self realization, med- meditation, ethical living. Ethical living, I will not dwell too much, but definitely when I say ethical living, anything we are doing has to be ethical. In ancient India, there were times when people didn't used to lock their houses also. They didn't used to lock their houses. They didn't need to lock their houses because everybody was so happy and satisfied. What with whatever they had, they were happy and satisfied. So that is something which is very, very important when we talk about ethical things. We are running up behind the maternal things, material things, but we are not going back to the happiness and going back to a relaxed, plain, simple life with, we say, simple thinking and high living or something like that. So those thoughts must be imbibed now in the students. So we have got great classical eras of yoga, because I'm sure many speakers must have spoken before on details of this. So I need not go into details, but definitely these are the points where we should know, or as teachers, to plan what should be in the curriculum. This is what is required from which ancient literature, what has to be picked up for our curriculum now. So there has to be linkages created now, because I, as a student, I have started studying, let's say 1972, है ना? From 1972 till today, till 2025, I have never been taught what are Upanishads. I have never been taught what are Vedas. I have never been taught what is Bhagavad Gita. Everybody says there is everything is there in these books, but never an effort has been made by anyone, I'm saying anyone, that they give me the teachings of this into a format where I will be simply learning them. It's my interest what I do, but it's not a method. It's not imbibed into my system, whether it is my family, whether it is my school, or whether it is my university. So, this is the gap which requires to be bridged, and these learnings should be simplified and be brought to our curriculum now. So, when I am saying this, I definitely mean that we should have teachers who are able to create certain frameworks which can be sustainable and which can be scalable, and the degree of difficulty we can always increase. We understand these children have started learning this, fine, next 5 years, okay, raise the level of class 2 3 to something else. And there is a very good literature available which I have also seen, Fun with Yoga, and it's learning yoga with fun for kids. These are some books which I have also studied a lot. And then there are a lot of animal postures which speak something for students. So it's a very holistic approach which we have to think when we are trying to put this curricula into place. So Upanishads to Patanjali, Bhagavad Gita, sutras, they are immense literature, and when we start reading as a normal teacher, I think we feel that yes, we are not able to even understand sometimes. It's that complex, and hats off to those people who have really, really been developing that literature at that point of time, 5,000 years ago. We keep saying 5,000, I think it may be more. We don't know that also. So that is the uh, interest of bringing the ancient Indian culture back to the system, back to the education system, and back to the children to bring, sorry, fine. So this is a bit about how things were, what things changed during the period. And I think we'd only have to say that last 500 years or so, this has been changed. Before that, everything was very similar to the what the Indian philosophers or the Indian thinkers have envisaged for the country. So we need to think, we need to bring this back, and each student must have an opportunity to undergo a curricular of yoga. So revival came into 19th and 20th centuries. And when this revival came, we have some key names: Swami Vivekananda, yes; Krishnamacharya ji, yes; and BKS Iyengar ji, because they are themselves a school of thought, I know, and we call them as school of yoga in particular. When we say Patanjali is a school of yoga, BKS Iyengar ji is a school of yoga, and hence they start becoming kind of the people to be followed for what is yoga and how it can be done. But there are various, I will say today, when I look back for last, let's say, 100 years or so, you have many more variations in yoga which has come. A lot of variations. And even I will say, I will go beyond one more word. Maybe I may offend somebody, but yes, I'm putting my thought very openly. We have also started commercializing yoga. I think this is something which really needs to be thought. Do we really want to commercialize, or do we want to have something what it was the beauty of the ancient yoga? So something we need to strike a balance when we think about, I will say, maximizing yoga to everyone. Another concept which I very recently has been, and that is about competitive yoga, and everybody knows about it. I'm sure many of us know about it. It's a good thing, I will say. Number one, why it is good? Because at least we are reaching to everybody, and there is an incentive or a motivation to a child to do something, and that is very promising, I will say. But I think the culmination should always be towards education competition, and that could be one of the strings which we can set it out. So maybe we can think about in a very, I will say, holistic manner when we are talking about education, competition, and uh, mass practices of yoga. So now comes about the postures, the mindfulness, the wellness. I think I will less said by me will be better, because these are just talking about the holistic health and the fitness practice. Now, in our country, it is some two things more are initiated by the government of India. I will say not yoga directly, but I will say a concept called Fit India. And the concept of Fit India dwells upon not only cycling, swimming, or running, but it also encompasses a huge component of yoga into it. So anybody and everybody can do a yogic practice also to keep himself fit. So these are some initiatives, I will say, which are mass-based initiatives which can always be taken, spread off various thoughts down to the line of the end user here, or the last stakeholder at that corner of the country. Then we're talking about what are the milestones which we have created as a country, because these are the days which will be historically remembered by every nation, every Indian, because it is the effort of our PM, Shri Narendra Modi ji, that we have emphasized the UN to adopt the International Day of Yoga, and which is exactly 20 days from now. So it is a great initiative, I will say, and it has actually charged us as Indians to think about and start doing something. And there are various, I will say, groups, various people, various NGOs. Everybody wants something to do something different, and it's as scalable as possible. We were just celebrating the 75 years of independence. I think even that was integrated into the International Day of Yoga practice. 75 cities, 75,000 people, something, but anything and everything, it was huge in numbers in celebration of the International Yoga Day also. So that is the impact of celebrating a yoga day in our country. And very interestingly, it is led from the front by the PM himself. So that brings that impact, and that brings the thought also that yes, why not now put everything in practice, put everything to everyone. And when we say this, we say yes, it does promote unity, it does promote peace, it does promote global well-being. So these are the key, I will say, outcomes to each and every stakeholder when it comes to having yoga in practice. And that is for sure. We are able to relax, we are able to think, at least keeping our head very, very cool. So we can go on talking on this a lot, but yes, the impact is peace at the end of the day, making clear thoughts, and that is very important when it comes to the functioning of a person in a day-to-day life. So, okay. So now we come to the curricular-based approaches. So I have tried to put this in place, though I have not put a, what curriculum should be in particular, but what should be the framework, what should be the rationale. Till now, I was just trying to put a background to why it is required and what will be the thought process in bringing such kind of a curriculum if required to. So now that we've just seen in our previous slide that there is an International Day of Yoga celebrated, and we are already 10 years celebrating that International Day of Yoga, and that has impacted at the end. Slowly and slowly, the impact has coming to the boards or the decision makers who are the planners for the curriculum. I'll just share with you a small story because how uh, impactful these days were and how these thoughts started coming and why NEP came and why things come. I'll just try to share that stories with you because that is something which is an experiential path for me also because I was not aware of those things. So I'll just try to put it in perspective. For example, in 2017, that was just 3 years after the International Day of Yoga was done, there was a Government of India's initiative called Chintan Shivir. Chintan means thinking, and Shivar means a camp. So a thinking camp, you can say. And they had called a lot of stakeholders, specially not only for yoga, but yoga, health, physical education, sports, art, dance, and media people. So these were the people who were called together for the Chintan Shivir. The idea was to dwell upon how we can have these activities integrated into our system, into the curriculums of the schools, how we can make children engage in these activities. So that day when I was attending it for the first time, that was the first initiative of the government of the India, and this was done by the Ministry of Education itself. So when we were attending that, we were just wondering. And every time whenever government initiates such things, we always have a thought, oh, aa to gaye par kuch hoga nahi. That means we have come, but nothing will happen. So we always had that thought, but we never thought that there will be such quick follow-up of it. So 2017, I'm talking about November. Then there was another follow-up in next 7 months only. That means in June or May 2018, we were called to Missouri. There was another big Chintan Shivar, and from there we had to filter our thoughts to concise to the recommendations to the government. And when we were making those guidelines, I'll tell you why I'm putting this perspective because this is the route from where the curriculums have started. So we give recommendations that these are our recommendations. We can incorporate these. Believe me or not, 2020 came the NEP, and whatever we people had suggested, we means the community of the so-called those who do nothing in school. Our recommendations were integrated into the NEP 2020. And NEP 2020 talks about a lot of activities and they talk about, I will say, I'll just show that. So there we were talking about how these can be integrated. And suppose we want to teach science, and we can take a yogasan to teach science also. So that kind of a curricular integration is what is the next steps which we are thinking and we are working upon right now. So just to put that in perspective, I thought I'll share that small quick story with you, because these are initiatives which the government has taken. These are initiatives which have been very, very impactful when we see the new education policy or the NCF. I don't know how many of you are aware of the NCF. I'll just change a document to give you the key elements of that also, so that at least we can spread that awareness now in this session. So the outcome should be a structured implementation with curriculum alignment. This is important. As we say, age specific, gender specific. So a structured curricular implementation requires age specific and a gender specific curricula to be developed and implemented in various schools. We have not seen yogic curriculum developed in this form. I have seen sometimes a bit of it for physical education, but not for yoga. So this is a major gap which I'm trying to address here. Then we have training of teachers and awareness for the students. Now, anything new we want to place, definitely we would like to have teachers in place. As a country, India, we have the education only as a state subject. So this is one limitation at times which the country faces to implement across the states. But certainly, when I'm saying this, I will say that there are boards which are across the states, and we can always have anything implemented through those boards. Boards like Central Board of Secondary Education, boards like Kendriya Vidyalayas are there in the whole country. Then we have Navodaya Vidyalayas in the whole country. We have some ICSE boards and certain boards which may be government controlled or maybe some other board control. So that can be part of the implementation also. And training of teachers is important because unless we do not train our teachers to give the way it has to be given to the students, it will not be operationally successful. So this is also another challenge. And another challenge which I see here is that there may not be sufficient scope of having such teachers appointed in schools. This is another big challenge. So this is a very huge gap, I will say, when it comes to bridging this gap, reaching to the students and giving them the success models of the yogic educations. So in the NEP, I just mentioned, I'll just speak about it a bit. So in NEP, I'm picking up from a word called holistic development of a child. So the NEP has a key feature which talks about holistic development, which talks about flexibility, which talks about mental well-being and yoga as an essential part of co-curricular and I'm so sorry, essential part of co-curricular and also physical education is important part. Now, when we say co-curricular, the word co-curricular is very interesting for me always. But I would like to remove the word co also from here and put it as a curricular part here, because it should be a curricular part. It cannot be a co-curricular part. Again, co means plus. So the plus should be automatically imbibed into the curricula, and then it should be a curricular part of it. But nonetheless, there are at least pathways which we can pick up when we say flexible, when we say multidisciplinary, when we say mental well-being, and when we say essential part. So these are keywords which we should pick up from here, and we should think about suggesting the government of India that yes, this yoga is an ancient practice. This is how we can place it to our schools, to our universities, and these are the outcomes envisaged from this education, and a child will be better, or maybe a holistic development of a child can be looked at it. So these are certain key points which are aligned in the NEP, which is the New Education Policy 2020 of the Government of India. So then we have about a bit on importance of yoga in education. These are general points, but these general points are points where we can see from where we are going to pick up and develop the syllabuses in a detailed format. And when I use a word curricular, I want to explain that word operationally how I would like to see here. So curriculum means the day a student joins and the day a student leaves the institution. This is where the curriculum lies. And when I say syllabus, it is just a framework of the classes. What we are teaching, is he being assessed on it? So that is the part of the syllabus for a student. So this is what we should try to develop. And these are certain important points which would require a lot of attention while developing these syllabuses. If we say we want an outcome to have an improved concentration and memory, what all should be done, when it should be done, at what level it should be done, at what age group, at what gender, we have to see on those parts. So reducing stress and anxiety, definitely children are having a lot of stress today, a lot of anxiety. Come board results, and there we are. So emotional stability is important. I don't know, I can't lay right away, but in Indian families today, what is happening? We never had this earlier, actually. I don't, but last, I think 20-25 years, I am seeing this, that there is a lot of independence seeking by the children. Earlier, it was not there. Never it was there. I've stayed in a joint family long. 30 years I was in a joint family, personal experience. But otherwise, I don't know. Children don't want to stay. They don't want to share things. So somewhere we have to find a pathway here that they are integrated into the family the way they were, because this is of interest for in, in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the country, that we are still having very strong family frameworks, because that is our beauty as a country, to have that family framework. And I'm sure yoga's integration into as a curriculum will give that kind of a relaxation, that kind of a in self realization, that they are able to integrate back into the families very, very well. So, and yes, emotional stability, the ages of things, I will just use word of things, the ages of things are reducing, causing emotional instability in the children. So a direction on that has to be given, hand holding has to be done. Then promotes the physical fitness and health. Of course, yoga is a very, very good tool for promoting physical fitness and health. And since I have been practicing and promoting yoga for long, I've always said, do Surya Namaskar as many as you can, and you see you have very, very good physical health. When the doctor says, do Surya Namaskar, everybody will start doing. Are we doing it our own? Are we doing? Somebody says, went to a doctor and says, you must strengthen all your muscles. Nothing else. Just one Surya Namaskar. One exercise, every muscle functions. And you vary the pace, change the holding time, the strength, the flexibility, everything is taken care of. So it's a very, very impactful postures we create in the Surya Namaskar, and that is something which everybody should do. And it should be something like, as we every day consume food, it should be something like that, should be imbibed in the children. Do Surya Namaskars every day. So that is very, very important part which should be in our syllabuses. Then we come to the next. Yeah. So these are again similar points you can say, which are talking on the NAP 2020, and I'm sure integration will be done and curriculums will be framed on this, and definitely we can be working on this. How yoga will be able to deliver, give given as a pedagogy for other subjects. This is something which is now we are working on. How yoga can become a pedagogical tool for other subjects. So if I say, if just I'm giving you an example, we are talking of balance in science and we are talking of balance in yoga. We can always look at combining that. So there can be ample examples when we start thinking on this. Fine. So, and also teaching of muscles, teaching of the systems in science, teaching of physics, a lot combines here also. That is something which is to be developed and placed in the curriculum. And a science teacher can also be given a training or a workshop to teach through these examples or to change the pedagogical tool and integrate the yoga into their pedagogical tool. So that could be one important aspect. And for the university students, actually, when we see school, we can see always pedagogical tools. But when we see the college students, I will share with you in the college or the university system, now that the UGC has come up with the 4-year frameworks for the undergraduate programs. And directly you can do a master's 1 year, and then you can do, after a 4-year program, you can do a PhD directly. Here, there are majors and there are minors also. We did had specializations which we called earlier, but now there are majors and minors, and there are credits defined to the majors and minors, and there are credit defined to ability enhancement courses. There are credits defined to the what do you call special nahi, skill development courses. So if you have such kind of domains, in your institutions, we can always have papers which will be yogic papers which can be opted by maybe students from engineering, student from law, student from biotechnology. Like in my university, I have done this, that I have put a paper called Basics of Yoga, for example. It's not example, it's a true that we have kept a basics of yoga, and I had kept it in 2015 itself. And this can be opted by any student in the university. Any means any law, biotechnology, engineering, psychology, any student can opt this course. And we have now this course has 1, 2, 3, 4 also. The progression is also there. So if they want to progress, they can pick up credits and that can be part of their mark sheet, or that can be part of their passing that course also in their engineering program, or and it is very beneficial for placement, let me tell you. When it comes to placement, and people say that we have done a yoga course, they're so happy to know, oh, I've done a basketball course, I've done a football course. So that shows that that student has got an aptitude of venturing into new things also. So that is what the placement people start saying, oh, he has a different thought than the rest of the students. So maybe we can think about it. Then we have these are suggested activities. This is nothing firm on this, but they are just suggestions. And when I say they are suggestions, then they can be for class 1 to 5. They can be basic asanas, breathing exercises, storytelling with moral lessons. 6 to 8 could be pranayama and mindfulness, and 9 to 12 can be advanced yoga theory and maybe competitions. I was just talking about the yogasana sport also, so that can also be introduced here. And this is just a very raw, I will say, framework which has been put here. And classes can be 1 to 2 per week. So this is just a window which brings a thought to introduce as a curricular framework. There can be assessments, there can be travel in this. Students can do a field work in this. They can observe things. They can visit things. So there is a various ways of planning the assessments and the uh, understanding yoga in a far better way. And this is something for a higher education. I just mentioned about the higher education. I'll just quickly show this also. And here it is something like yoga as an elective course. I was just explaining that yoga club and wellness cells can be established in all universities, and then credit-based yoga courses as part of maybe physical education or NCC or NSS or maybe independent also can be there. And then certification and training of yoga practitioners is important so that they are able to get their jobs whether in government or non-governmental agencies. So this is also proposed for a higher education. Lastly, training of educators is important. Capacity building workshops, yoga certification programs, and looking at the timetable allocations, the infrastructure, the yoga rooms, the halls, the monitoring and the evaluation plans have to be in place for conduct of the yogic sessions. So last, the what are the challenges we have and how we can do? What is the solutions? So lack of trained teachers, of course, resistance or disinterest, infrastructure limitations. So solutions can a good mode is an online mode, of course. Now that we are all understanding the online importance of being online, we save time, we make it very cost effective, and teacher training through digital platforms, partnerships with yoga institutes, etc., etc. And we can have also video lessons recorded as we have done in e-Khel Pathshala for the Sports Authority of India. So we can have recorded lessons, we can have certifications, which can be self-paced and anywhere style self-paced lessons. So lastly, yoga is a very important component of our NEP. Implementing a curricular-based yoga ensures structure, growth, and well-being. And let's create a healthier, focused, and mindful student generation. So that's all for me, my end. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Meena, for giving me the opportunity and
Wonderful, wonderful, ma'am. That was really very insightful because you gave us a whole picture about what needs to be done, but how to do it.
yeah.
And what was in the background, how did you create it, and now how it is being implemented. So truly very insightful. There's so much of learning that has happened, especially we are in a curricular setup, academic setting. So what all could be implemented is so many takers points for us, and you brought it out so well right from the beginning, how to get started right from that guru sishya gurukula, what is the right methodology, how to go about it, starting from there, how to mold, because gurukula is like, you give a nice mold, a nice shape with all the thoughts, and because they are 24/7 with the guru, who is giving them everything, not just the teaching, but by observing, by being with them, what to be, what not to be, and what to learn, how much to take, how to take it forward. Everything is being done there, and you brought it out so well, how important it is to create that kind of a setting in curriculum to integrate that. So thank you so much. And how to fill in the lacunae, what to fill in that lacunae, because that is where a big question comes. We know we have gaps, we know we have lacunae, but what are we going to fill that with, and how are we going to bridge it up, like so beautiful. And you also explained about that 75 years, the impact it had, the celebrating, IDY being celebrated 75 years of Indian independence and 76 years of Indian independence. And we from our department, from the School of Yoga Therapy of ISCM, Institute of Salutogenesis and Complementary Medicine, just wanted to share this. For the 75 years, we created a booklet with 75 asanas being covered up with a short, explanation about the methodology, the benefits and all that, and a link to where it can be found, done by all of us in the department. So that was something which we brought out. And for the 76th year, we brought out a booklet on abstracts, all the scientific research that we have done. We just chose 76 of them with various departments. This being a healthcare university, we have a hospital here, we have a medical hospital, a dental care clinic, and everything is there in one umbrella. So all of them compiled, put together, we brought out a booklet with 76 abstracts. So it was so interesting when you put it out, like, okay, we've also been a part of that. And the story that you brought out with that Chintan camp, so beautiful, because this is something which we are going to remember when we think about the takeaways from this session. I'm going to remember this, how NEP 2020 came into existence now. How, all, because we keep referring to that NEP 2020, and we keep talking about, implementing yoga practices, the orientation to the students when they join in, as per the NEP guidelines, it needs to be done. How many hours of yoga needs to be given as a co-curricular or a curricular activity? All this is something which we are dealing with every day. But how did that come into existence? So thank you so much, and we are so honored that you have been a part of that, and you are here as part of our resource person. Again, there's no word to express the gratitude that we hold for you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, sir.
Pleasure to listen to you today.
Oh, sir.
yes,
Pleasure to listen to you today, and I'm so happy that we met at NIS Patiala during the conference, and realized that we share the linkage through Dr. Salomurthy sir at Amity also.
Yeah.
And that you have accepted our invitation and delivered this very amazing discourse on the pedagogy. I think the pedagogy part is so important when we talk about yoga education, especially with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So I think this is really something very special, and thank you for being part of this. And we have an active MOU with Amity, so we hope that this can be taken forward with many such activities where we can collaborate both in person and of course online. So thank you so much, Kalpana ma'am, for being with us, and truly an inspiring perspective on the pedagogy that we need to take this forward. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting me, sir, and my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much, sir. And may I now call upon Dr. Ingan ji? Yes, Ingan ji was one of our resource persons. Just an introduction to Kalpana ji. So Ingan, please, your perspectives, comments.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Professor Kalpana Sharma. That was a really enlightening talk, and I'm so impressed that you are so committed to this, that you come and do the speech even if you're a bit sick. So that I'm very happy that you did that, because I think as a pedagogue and with so much experience in develop curriculum and develop programs, and also having apparently scientific background with a lot of publications, it seems like you are very committed to these goals, and I think that's so important. I come from Norway, where I'm a professor in psychology, and about 14 years back, our government wanted to initiate collaboration with India on trade and all kind of collaboration. And then they invited people at universities to explore how we could collaborate with India. And I was lucky to already have long-term collaboration with the Indian professor in psychology, Professor Ursha Sidana Nair. But so we were able to have very interesting seminars at the university where we said there's one gem that India has to offer to the world, and that is yoga. And we have to take this opportunity to get it into our educational system as much as we can. I've been part of a few initiatives to get it into school. There have been interventions and there has been research related to it. I also was part of a book that was just written called Keys to a Better Life, where offering yoga to young people in school or outside school. I also hope to get it more into the university, but this is kind of, in India, this is part of your tradition, your ancient wisdom, your heritage. So it's easy to get it in. But with the popularity of yoga in the West, it becomes a bit more easily to get it into educational institutions too. And I've started this process at my own university. It's going a bit slow because people don't see fully the value. But I have also several colleagues who are long-term yogis, yoga therapists, and we are in this together. And we're having also this collaboration with the Institute of Salutogenesis and Complementary Medicine. So I feel that we are on the way for bringing yoga into the educational system at all levels in my country. So it was very inspirational to hear someone who has so much experience and so clear ideas to kind of outlining what we could do. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Dr. Ingan. Just to introduce Dr. Ingan to Professor Kalpana ji. Ingan is a professor in psychology from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And it's so wonderful. They are also collaborative partners, like we have an MOU with them, and as well as Amity also. So looking forward to so much of, the onward journey where we can collaborate together for the overall wellness of everybody. Looking forward to that truly. Thank you so much. And Dr. Balaji, our assistant professor, I can see here. Do you want to, give your comments?
Vanakkam, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. Ma'am, it was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
One thing I want to say is giving yoga therapy as an elective course will enhance to get opportunity in the job. That word means a lot, ma'am, because in a school of yoga therapy, we are giving a yoga accreditation certificate to the constituent students of SBV. So this will enhance especially our students, and this will motivate other universities also to take yoga in the curriculum. So thank you for the wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to explain what he said, Dr. Kalpana ma'am, yoga is part of the curricular activity in the 4 years of nursing that they do. So 90 hours of yoga is being given to them in the 4 years that they are here. And in allied health sciences, yoga is an elective for the students there. And 3 electives are given as a choice. And every year we find that, say, 140 students are there every year, and all the 140, you know, like one is one they prefer to take yoga as an elective, all 140 together. And why? Because when they go out after the 3 years of completion of their course, they find that they have an additional advantage with the the certificate that they get from the YCB or IYA for after completing so many hours of yoga as part of their elective was or as part of their curricular activity. So that they find is a big advantage for them, and you know they have a extra points on that in being selected. So thank you, Balaji, for bringing that up. Dayanidhi, our assistant professor, I can see him there. Do you want to make a few points, comments?
Namaste, ma'am. So it's really a wonderful session of, as ma'am said that, so we can able to start from the basics of where it come from, the pedagogy and how it was important for the students and how the yoga therapy helps for everyone. So it is really a wonderful session. So thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session in this International FDP. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are so happy to have you in this platform. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Any comments, any questions from anybody here? Please raise your hand. I can. Any comments? So what I will do is like I will share the screen.
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, very good morning, all of you. Thank you, all of you, and especially
It's muted.
Muted, ma'am, you're muted.
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So it was wonderful session and good experience. We have learned so many things from Kalpana, ma'am. Yes, we have go through with the NEP 2020 and a lot of meetings we have discussed about the holistic approach and multidisciplinary theme. Also discuss about the yoga, but the perspective has been opened up with this session and little bit like curiosity to know that we can develop with this curriculum for the yoga skill development certification course for the students, outcome based, gender based, with that we have learned. But my question is like, how do we train ourselves first to do the basic course or certification course? Because as we say that ma'am told us that it's commercialization. So many things are there to do the courses. But what you suggest to do we as a faculty member to get the knowledge of yoga as a basic, and then we can train to our students for the further courses.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you are already at the right place to do certifications.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That's a quick
Yes.
answer, but if you wish so, if I don't know where you are located, but you will have Government of India certifications going on, and otherwise you are already at the right place.
I'm from Rajasthan, Udaipur.
Udaipur, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Morarji Desai in Delhi gives you those certifications?
Yeah.
And otherwise, you can always contact Dr. Meena. I'm sure she will give you a list of institutions. But Morarji Desai is one Government of India institution. Delhi mein hai.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I've seen so many certification courses over there and masters also. So yeah, we can do it online, ma'am.
That you have to check their website. Maybe it is
Oh,
half
okay.
online, half offline. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah.
After
Sure.
COVID, many
Thank
things
you,
have
ma'am.
changed. So not
Yes.
sure.
Both
Yeah.
online or offline options are available, ma'am. So it
Yeah.
depends on your availability, your time, your preferences, and things like that. So if you need any further detail, please get in touch with us. We will definitely be happy to share.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so very much. We would like to honor ma'am with a certificate which we will be sending to her through a mail for this wonderful, wonderful session. This is the least that we could do. And just introducing the speaker for the next session on day 7, which is on the 4th of June. Dr. Sushil Sharma ji, and he will be speaking on improving arterial health, reducing heart attack risk, and strengthening heart function. What is the integrated therapeutic approach? So that's going to be our session for the next FDP. So let's all finish sitting straight, finish with the Shanti mantra. Sit erect, eyes closed, hands in Namaskar Mudra. Take a deep breath in. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Oh. So thank you once again, Kalpana ji, because
Thank you.
despite your throat, disturbances, your other issues, you were here, like I would say that as a role model, the students need to, all of us need to, hold on to that commitment and, go ahead and do what needs to be done. And thanks again for being that role model.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll take your leave now, ma'am. Thank
See
you.
you all.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
See you all in the next session on the 4th of June. So thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.